Good morning, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Sunday, December 28, 2014, around 7:40 in the morning in Billerica, Massachusetts. Cloudy day out today. We might get some rain showers, but it's going to be 50 degrees, so we're not going to see snowflakes anytime soon, even though the temperature this upcoming week is going to go back to normal or below normal. But it's winter. It's where it should be. Maybe next weekend it's going to get warm again, but it's going to be accompanied by rain showers. Some news to report. The Columbus Blue Jackets beat the Boston Bruins by a score of 6-2 last night. The Bruins and the two-game mini-winning streak, they're inconsistent, the Bruins. And also, the Celtics dropped 1 to the Washington Wizards at the Verizon Arena in Washington, D.C. by the score of 101-88. It's week 17 of the NFL season, last weekend of the regular season, so no more Scott Hanson on the NFL Red Zone after today. And 17 years ago today, Sting beat Hollywood Hulk Hogan for the WCW World title at Starrcade 1997 in Washington, D.C. The Sting-Hogan feud in WCW was one of the biggest hype feuds of all time, played out of several months on angles and stuff like that on WCW Monday Nitro. This was the Sting-Hogan feud probably propelled WCW's ratings sky high during 1997. And that's about it on that. My first subject of the day is about the state of the 4 Boston professional sports teams going into the new year 2015. The Patriots, the Celtics, the Bruins, and the Red Sox. 2014 for Boston sports was kind of high expectations for 3 of the teams, and and low expectations for one. And this year for the Boston sports teams have been kind of disappointing and mediocre at best. I start off with the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics in the 2013-2014 season missed the playoffs. They traded away Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce in the summer of 2013 to start their rebuilding process. They have a new coach, Brad Stevens, and the 2013-2014 season for the Celtics were building for the future. And this past month they traded Rondo Raja to the Dallas Mavericks to excel the rebuilding process, and it's going to take several years before the Celtics are a true contender in the NBA again. Danny Ainge says he wants to rebuild the Celtics through the draft or through trades, and the Celtics have been entertaining so far in the 2014-2015 NBA season. They cannot hold leads. If at all, they go out to big leads in the games, but they blow it. And this is a sign of a team that's feeling their oats and stuff. And the Celtics in a few years, I think, will be competitive again because they play in the Eastern Conference. And if they get maybe a decent player or two in the draft, get lucky, they could be contenders for the Atlantic Division title or a playoff spot and stuff like that. But the fans have to be patient with the Boston Celtics during the season, during these times, because I think if they're patient enough, they could be championship 18 could be just around the corner. But just give them some time, and they'll be good, the Celtics, in a few years. Now on to the Boston Bruins. The Boston Bruins in the 2013-2014 NHL season had the best record in the National Hockey League. They were the President's Trophy winners, and a lot of people were predicting the Bruins to win the Stanley Cup playoffs in 2014. They got by the first round of Stanley Cup playoffs easily in 2014 against the Detroit Red Wings, 4-1, but then they faced off against their arch rivals, the Montreal Canadiens, and it was a tough 7-game series. The Canadiens won one, the Bruins won a couple of games, and then the Canadiens won another one. And then in Game 5, the Bruins played their best game of the series. And a lot of people said the Bruins finally found their mojo against the Canadiens. But Game 6 and 7 of their playoff series, the Bruins packed it in. They mailed it in. They weren't confident at all. And the Montreal Canadiens got them at Game 6 and 7 and upset the Bruins in 7 games. Very disappointing way to end the season, because a lot of people says the Bruins team of last year were probably going to win the Stanley Cup championship. And I agree with that. And in the off-season, they didn't sign Jerome McGinley to a contract because he wanted too much money, and the Bruins were like against the cap. And also, they had to trade Johnny Boychuk, defenseman, away to the Islanders. And the Bruins, at the start of 2014-2015, had injuries to Chara and Krejci and a lot of inconsistent play by Lucic and Rask and a few other players. Plus, the Bruins do not have a true goal scorer. And the Bruins are in the middle of the pack now. They're like basically a couple of points out of the final wild card spot. And also, in addition, the Bruins cannot make moves to free up some salary cap space relief. There's rumors about they trying to get Taylor Hall from the Edmonton Oilers, or I heard something, a couple of other players. And there's rumors that Lucic could be traded, or Louis Eriksson and stuff. And the Bruins, in my opinion, are going to be probably stuck in mediocrity for the rest of the season. And I'm thinking they're not going to make the playoffs, and this could put general manager Peter Sorelli's job on the line. I don't think they're going to fire Claude Julien at all, because they just signed him to a 3-year contract extension, and the Bruins probably do not want to pay him for 3 years just to be sitting on the sidelines and stuff. So the Bruins have a long road ahead of them for the rest of the year. They need a major winning streak, but I don't see a major winning streak in the Boston Bruins. Now on to the Boston Red Sox. 2013, the Boston Red Sox had the best record in Major League Baseball. They went from worst to first and won the World Series. And this was unexpected. It was like the real impossible dream team. In 2014, a lot of people were saying the Red Sox were going to be good again. But they've struggled a lot, and by the trading deadline, they had to trade John Lester away and a lot of other players away, pitchers like Jake Peavy and John Lackey and a couple of other players away, and the Red Sox finished in last place in the American League East. The only highlight was David Ortiz's offense and stuff, and there was some injuries too. Dustin Pedroia and stuff. Lack of offense by Will Middlebrooks, who's gone, and the inconsistent pitching of like Clay Buchholz. But the Red Sox made some splashes in the offseason, signing up Pablo Sanabez and Hallie Maris, and traded for some pitching with Porcello, Wade Miley, and a couple of other prospects. In 2015, a lot of people are hoping the Red Sox are good again, but it's going to be very tough because they don't have an ace pitcher. They have decent pitching, but not an ace pitcher, and you need an ace pitcher to go to do something in the playoffs and the World Series. So next year for the Red Sox, I think they're just going to be 500. And the final team is the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots won another division because of the mediocrity of the AFC East and stuff. I mean, the AFC East. And the Patriots, like, during the 2013 season, they won the AFC East again, and they like did good in the first round, beating the Colts, and when they got to the AFC Championship game, they lost to the Broncos. But this year, the Patriots started mediocre, 2-2 and stuff. There were rumors that Brady and Belichick were at odds and stuff like that. but they got their mojo going and ran off several wins in a row, easily winning the AFC East, and they have the number one seed in the AFC East. They still have Brady, they still have a lot of great receivers and stuff like that. Their defense is getting better and better and better, and I think the Patriots have the best shot of winning a championship for Boston this year, Super Bowl bound, I think, and hopefully 2015 is a better year for Boston sports, especially for the Red Sox and the Bruins and the Celtics. Patriots are the only kind of the safe bet to deliver a championship to the city of Boston in the upcoming year, because there's no shot for the Celtics, maybe a less than 5% shot for the Bruins, and the Red Sox maybe have a 10 to 25% shot of putting a championship home for Boston. But the state of Boston sports in 2015, a state of flux in my opinion. And that's about it on that. I'll be back later, Facebook friends and YouTube followers, with 2 more video blogs. One about the classic television show Mr. Belvedere, which will be coming back on reruns in January 5th on Antenna TV, weekdays at 5 p.m. Going to be seen locally on WBIN Classics, which is powered by Antenna TV, which is 50.2 if you don't have cable, and channel 288 on Comcast beginning January 1st, replacing Live Well Network, which is going to be folded. And also, the third and final video blog of the night will be about WWE Hall of Famer and the first Intercontinental Champion, Pat Patterson, on the series of me for personality profiles this week, talking about the 4 best French-Canadian professional wrestlers of all time. Monday's going to be about the model Rick Martel, Tuesday's going to be about Ronnie Garvin, and Wednesday's going to be about Jacques Joe the Mountie. See you later, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. Goodbye.